Love stories don't always end the way we expect them. Sometimes, what starts like a fairy tale can turn into a painful lesson. This is the story of Cynthia and David, two people who loved each other deeply, but one mistake changed everything. Hi besties, welcome back to Tales by Becky. They met back in secondary school. David was that quiet, focused boy who always topped his class, and Cynthia was that cheerful, beautiful girl. They started talking as friends, and soon, friendship turned into love. They dreamed together of school, work, marriage, and building a happy home. After secondary school, they went to the same university, still together. Everyone admired them. The perfect couple, they always said. When they graduated, David got a job, and before long, he proposed. Their wedding was simple, yet full of joy. They promised each other forever. The first few years were pure bliss. David worked so hard, and Cynthia also started a small business. They were growing together, building dreams brick by brick. They laughed, prayed, and planned for their future. Every morning, David would kiss her on the forehead before leaving for work. Every night, Cynthia would wait for him at the door with a smile. They were happy, but there was one thing missing. 3 years into their marriage, still no child. At first, Cynthia didn't worry much. She always told herself that God's time is the best. David also wasn't bothered. He loved his wife so much, he would tell her, "Cynthia, you are my home. Even if we never have a child, I'll still choose you." But the world didn't see it that way. Each time David's mother came visiting, she would remind them that she needed a grandchild. Cynthia became so worried. She felt like a failure. She tried everything: hospital visits, fasting, night prayers, seed sowing, helping the poor, anything that could bring her closer to her miracle. One sunny afternoon, 5 years into the marriage, Cynthia went to the supermarket to get groceries. She was packing her bags into her car when a young man walked up to her and offered to help her. His name was Tunde. He was charming, funny, and so polite. They talked briefly and he helped her load her things. Before she left, he asked for her number. She hesitated, then gave it. At first, it was harmless. They chatted once in a while, just friendly talks about work, business, and life. Tunde would always call to check on her, crack jokes, and make her laugh. He was kind. He listened, something she had missed lately because David had been so busy with work. Weeks turned into months, and the friendship became stronger. One day, Tunde told her, "You deserve to be happy, Cynthia. You're such a beautiful woman." She laughed it off and reminded him that she was happily married. But he kept pushing. He told her she could still have fun, that nobody had to know. At first, she said no. She respected her husband and she loved him deeply. But temptation is tricky. One night, after an argument with David about another hospital test, she felt lonely. Tunde called. He said he wanted to see her. She went. That night, one mistake happened. Just once. She regretted it immediately. She cried the whole night. A few weeks later, Cynthia realized she has missed her period. She thought it was stress until she took a test and it was positive. She screamed with joy, crying and thanking God. She told her husband she was pregnant. David lifted her up in tears, shouting, "My love, a miracle has come. God has done it." Their joy knew no bounds. Everyone celebrated. Even David's mother came with gifts. 9 months later, Cynthia gave birth to a baby boy, a handsome boy who looked exactly like her. David named him Daniel. For the first time in years, peace filled their home. But in her heart, Cynthia carried a secret that tormented her. She would look at Daniel and feel both love and regret. She told herself she would take this secret to her grave. 3 years later, everything changed. Tunde somehow found out that Cynthia had a son. He called her angrily and desperate. "Cynthia, that boy is mine, isn't he? Please, Tunde, stop this," she begged. "Don't destroy my home. Forget everything that happened." But Tunde refused. He said he wanted to be part of his child's life. Cynthia warned him never to call her again. She blocked his number. Weeks later, he appeared at her house. David wasn't home. "Cynthia," he said, "I'm not leaving until I see my son." She trembled. "Please, Tunde, go. My husband must not find out." Tunde's voice grew loud. "If you don't let me see my son, I'll tell him the truth." Cynthia broke down crying. Neighbors started to gather and Tunde left angrily. That day, her world started to crumble. She was so scared her past had come to haunt her. Tunde didn't stop. He found David's number and called him. "David, I'm sorry to say this, but your wife has been keeping a secret from you. The boy you're raising isn't yours." David was surprised. He laughed bitterly. "You must be mad," he said and hung up. But the seed of doubt had already been planted. That night, he couldn't sleep. He watched Daniel as he slept, wondering. Days later, he secretly took Daniel for a DNA test. When the result came out, his hands shook. The child was not his. His whole world fell apart. He went home in silence. Cynthia was cooking when he entered. "Cynthia," he said calmly, "is there anything you want to tell me?" "No, why do you ask?" she replied, confused. He threw the DNA test result on the table. Cynthia froze. Her knees went weak. Tears filled her eyes. "David, please, I can explain." But he shouted, "Explain what? That you betrayed me? That our child is another man's?" Cynthia fell on her knees, crying and begging. "It was a mistake, David. I swear, it happened only once. I didn't plan it. I was lonely. I was weak." David's eyes were red with tears. "You should have waited. We were in this together. You destroyed everything." Days passed. David moved out of the house. He said he could never forgive infidelity. Cynthia tried to call, begged his family, even his mother, but no one listened to her. She was left alone with Daniel, the only thing she had. Then, one morning, Tunde came with court papers. He was suing for custody of his son. Cynthia couldn't believe it. She told the court she was the mother, but Tunde proved he was the biological father. After months of court battles, the judge ruled in Tunde's favor. David was taken from Cynthia. The day they came for him, Cynthia held him tight, crying uncontrollably. "Please don't take my baby, please." But they did, and just like that, she lost everything: her husband, her child, her home. Years passed. Cynthia lived alone in a small apartment, surviving on little jobs. Every time she saw a mother with her child, tears filled her eyes. She often sat by the window and whispered, "If only I had waited on God's time." Sometimes, impatience leads us to destroy what we've built for years. This story teaches us that one moment of weakness can bring a lifetime of regret. No matter how long it takes, please wait on God's time. Cheating never brings peace, only pain, shame, and loss. Be faithful, be patient. Because true love is tested not only when everything is fine, but when waiting becomes hard. And that is the end of this amazing story. See you on another episode of Tales by Becky.